Hey guys, welcome to another video. Welcome to my favorite TV shows from A to Z. I remember years ago I did this for movies where I talked about my favorite movies by each letter of the alphabet. Like my favorite movies that start with A, B, all the way to Z. I haven't done that for video games or television shows, so why not? Let's fucking do this, man. Uh, this is a lot harder. There's a lot more movies than there are video games and television shows, but I thought it'd be a fun list to do, and a list I was meaning to get to, like 3, 4 years later, but better late than never. So, yep, I'm gonna be doing my favorite TV shows, starting with every letter of the alphabet. Very difficult to do because when you get to the more difficult letters, you realize there's not a lot of good quality shows. A car just drove by. That's annoying, but anyway, no cuts. There'll be cuts, but anyways, yes, there's certain letters don't have as much quality of television shows beginning with those letters, so I had to try my best. Then there's shows that there's too many shows start with that letter, and I only had to pick one show, so it's quite difficult to do this list, but fuck it, let's do it. All right, let's start with the letter A. That's an easy one. It's Avatar: The Last Airbender. What else would it be? This is the greatest, single greatest. It's my controller here. That is the single greatest cartoon ever made. I've talked about this a lot. I love this show. This show every year. I go back and rewatch all three of the brilliant seasons of it. They did a great spin-off with Legend of Korra, but it'll never match the quality of Avatar. And yeah, we're getting another live action show now. It doesn't matter how good it was, it'll never be as good and such amazing quality as that show. Great characters, great villains, great heroes, great visuals, amazing action. It's just a timeless show that will never date, and it'll stand the test of time as one of the greatest cartoons ever made. And I stand by that. Alright, for the letter B, I could have easily went with Breaking Bad. That's the obvious choice that probably every single person will choose Breaking Bad. And it's not a wrong answer, it really isn't, but I had to go with Buffy the Vampire Slayer. That is my favorite, one of my all-time favorite shows. It's childhood. I grew up in the 90s, grew up with this show. As a kid, I was like, oh, why not I watch this chick show? And then I realized it's not. It's just a great show for everyone to have fun with. It's campy. Instead of the vampires chasing the girl, it's the girl chasing the vampires. Great characters, great story. Sarah Michelle Gellar will always be Buffy Summers to me. Nothing else. But yeah, I love this show, and this is when Joss Whedon was, well, good at making stuff and not the creep that we all know he is. But regardless, fantastic show. If you ever want to watch this show, really get into it. First season starts off a little silly, but it gets better as the seasons keep going. Best episodes, Hush and Once More with Feeling. Guaranteed you'll fall in love with the show after watching those episodes. So yeah. Alright, for C, easy, Cowboy Bebop. Cowboy Bebop, it's the greatest anime I've ever personally watched. Shinichi Watanabe never misses when it comes to his animes. I love it, love the style, love the music. Again, we see them try to remake it and do a really fucking shitty job. Love this show, love the characters on the Bebop crew, Spike, Faye, Jet, and Edward. Vicious is a great character, and I love that every episode, it's its own sort of story. Other than Battle of Fallen Angels, Jupiter Jazz in the finale, those are the only continuous stories. The rest are their own kind of 25-minute short stories. Love it. Great show. One of the most unique animes. Yeah, it's a widely loved show, but for good reason. For D, I went with Daredevil. I love this show. I think this is the greatest superhero show probably ever made. I think Charlie Cox is the most surprising casting choice to play as a character in a superhero movie or show. I think he's amazing as Matt Murdock / Daredevil. I love how complex of a character he is, and I love his relationships with Karen and Foggy. I love season 2. They bring in John Bernthal as Frank Castle, the Punisher. They bring in Elektra, and Wilson Fisk. Vincent D'Onofrio plays an incredible role. Season 3 with Bullseye is amazing. I'm just sad that this show will never continue. I know they're doing it again, but I don't think it will be as good as the quality of the Netflix Daredevil show, and it's something I have to come make my peace with. But still, amazing show. I went with Erased, another one of my favorite animes, an anime I've talked a lot about. It's a great murder mystery / time travel show. Check it out. F. There's so many shows for F. Like, I could have went with Firefly. I could have went with Frasier. I could have went with so many fucking shows. But I had to go with Friends. Friends is my favorite show of all time. It is the ultimate comfort show. It is the show that makes me laugh consistently. Anytime I'm in a sad mood, I throw Friends on. I'm happy. I'm a happy camper, man. Like, it's such a fantastic show. I love these characters. I love all 10 seasons. It's just a perfect show with like perfect comedy. It's perfect for its time, but it's still a timeless show. And it speaks to everybody. Like, when you watch the Friends reunion show, the show just affected everybody around the whole world. And it's a show that everyone can relate to and just admire and respect. Just so good. So good. G. I went with Game of Thrones. The final season sucked. Yes, of course it did. But the rest of the show is amazing. The first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones is probably the greatest pieces of television you'll ever watch. The first 4 seasons. What D.B. Wise and David Benioff did was amazing. How they adapted the books in the way is incredible. The casting is amazing. Peter Dinklage as Tyrion is incredible. Sean Bean as Ned Stark was fantastic. Everyone was just so good. And the stories and the way people play the Game of Thrones, the way they manipulate and cutthroat and backstab each other is so fascinating. The politics and the conversations is what really makes Game of Thrones so fucking fascinating. It's not the dragons and the tits and the gruesome violence. All great. It's the politics, it's the scheming, it's the dialogue. That's why season 2 has always been my favorite. So, yeah, Game of Thrones is still one of my all-time favorite shows, despite its really bad final season. But yeah, for H, I went with How I Met Your Mother. This is another one like Friends that just it's comfort food. It always puts a smile on my face. And again, there's a couple lackluster seasons, but I still love it. I love these characters. I love Barney, Ted, Marshall, Robin, and Lily. The relationships they all have, the friendships they have, and the fact that this show is deemed politically incorrect now makes the show a lot more funnier. And everyone knows the bro code. And the fact that Neil Patrick Harris, a gay man, can play a womanizer and do it so convincingly is incredible. For I was very hard. Because there's not a lot of shows that begin with I that I've either seen or enjoyed. So I went with Ink Master, a reality game show about tattooing. I personally have no tattoos. But I love it. I love this reality competition show about these tattoo artists all around North America competing to be the best ink master. And you got the judges, Dave Navarro, Chris Nunez, and Oliver Peck, to judge them. And the competitions they go through is incredible. The way they tattoo is incredible. The way they have to do different styles. And I learned so much about tattooing and artistry just by watching this show, because I always thought tattooing was just literally putting ink on you, but there's just so much style and artistic, and there's just so much detail and talent in tattooing that, yeah, I just was very as enthralled by this show, and just I think it's a damn good one. So for Jay, again, not a lot of shows for Jay that I've seen, so I went with the childhood favorite, Jackie Chan Adventures. Huge Jackie Chan fan. Huge guilty pleasure show. Loved watching it. I love that Jackie Chan kind of like opens and narrates the show. But great characters, fun action, stylistic animation. Just kid shows in the late 90s and early 2000s were just so iconic and just so fun. And Jackie Chan Adventures is no exception. So there you go. Take it and go. For K, I went with King of the Hill. King of the Hill is one of the funniest shows ever. Mike Judge is a true historic genius. Hysterical genius. I said historic. He ain't dead yet. Beavis and Butthead is great. I even liked Silicon Valley for the first few seasons. His movies like Idiocracy is just super funny, super iconic. But King of the Hill is just great. It's so funny. I love the characters. There's like a redneck show about these hillbillies living their everyday life. And yeah, you got Hank Hill, who sells propane and propane accessories. Also, rest in peace to the actor who played Dale. The government killed him finally. All right, L. I went with another childhood. Looney Tunes. The original Looney Tunes is something I always watched. Even when I used to go to the drive-in as a kid, Looney Tunes would open with little shorts and stuff. I didn't even mind, what was it, the 2012, 2013 remake of it, with like Kristen Wiig as Lola Bunny and stuff. I actually thought that was pretty funny. It's like embedded in our culture now, Looney Tunes, and just there's a lot of comedy skits and characters that would have never been written or created if it wasn't for Looney Tunes. So for that alone, come on now. For M, I went with another funny classic comedy show from my childhood that I still watch now, and that's Married with Children. Ed O'Neill is amazing as Al. He is so fucking hilarious. Katie Seagal's is what like started her path of being like the ultimate TV mom. Like, I know y'all probably think of her as Gemma from Sons of Anarchy or Leela from Futurama, but I knew her first as Peggy from Married with Children. And Christina Applegate was a knockout in the show. When I was a kid, I had the biggest crush on Christina Applegate in this show. Like, huge crush on her. Love it. This just simple guy works at a shoe store, dealing with his wife who always wants sex from him, and he just wants to sit back and watch the game. Very inappropriate, very of its time, but still fucking hilarious and still great, and still a great show to go back and watch and just remember with great memories. Oh, loved it. For N, I went with Noragami. Noragami is another anime that I love. I love it. This is so stylistic, but also funny, creepy, action-packed, and riveting. This anime balances so many genres in such unique ways that fucking I love it. Yato is a fucking great character and a great lead character. He's both intimidating but yet hilarious, and his friendship with Yukine is just like the heart and soul of the show. I want more seasons. Give me more seasons. That's all I'm saying. For O, I went with Orville. I'm not including thes for T because that's just easy, so the Orville is for my O. Another, like I'm saying, give me another season of the Orville. Season 3 is a great like ending if that's the ending to the show, but I want to see so much more with these characters and the adventures they go on. I did a whole video on the Orville, so definitely check that video out, but this is the greatest modern Star Trek show that is currently on television. Yes, Strange New Worlds is good, but the Orville, that's Star Trek. For P, I went with another anime, Psycho-Pass. If you ever want to watch a show that's the closest to Blade Runner that is like an anime form, watch Psycho-Pass. There's a lot of inspiration. Philip K. Dick's book, To Enter a Stream of Electric Sheep. Even the character of Makishima inspired his own legacy based off the character of Roy Batty. This is a fantastic show about what it means to be human and about what the right thing to do is about humanity and psychological problems. And like, I don't want to spoil too much of what the premise is because the premise alone hooks you in the first 5 minutes of what you know the show's about. So watch the first episode, guarantee you'll be hooked to this show. For Q, pretty difficult, so Queen's Gambit. I think that's the only Q that I can even talk about. Great show. Anya Taylor-Joy is probably the best modern actress out right now, and she shows what a sheer ferocity she is in film and television. Watch this show for her, and if you love like strategic, intelligent, smartly, tightly written scripts, watch this show. Also, if you love chess. Where are we at? Rurouni Kenshin. Rurouni Kenshin is another great anime that I grew up with. It's a great shonen with a great character, great villains, spectacular action adventures, sequences, beautiful music, and just, again, they did like a redux of it all, but go watch the original. I could have went with Star Wars or Star Trek. I could have went with Stranger Things, but I went with Star Trek. Star Trek: The Next Generation is probably the greatest Star Trek show you'll ever watch. It's intelligent, it's funny at times, it's got compelling characters, and it's a show for everybody to watch, kids, adults alike. It is brilliant, it's timeless, and it's just damn good television. Enough said. For T, I went with True Detective. True Detective, the first season, is one of the just best murder mystery shows I've watched. Sadly, season 2 wasn't that great, but season 3 picked up as season 1. It's amazing with Mahershala Ali. He is such a great protagonist. Like, if you want to watch True Detective, watch season 1 and season 3. Skip season 2. For you, I went with the current show, Upload. I actually love this show. I really want a season 3 coming out. When is season 3? Let me know in the comment section below. When is season 3 coming out? Great show, super funny, clever idea. Also a very beautiful love story. For V, it was a little difficult. Very difficult because, again, not a lot of V shows I've watched. I went with Vinyl, the HBO miniseries. Watched this a couple years ago with Ray Romano about the music industry during the time period. Really dug it. Good writing, good comedy, good musical performances. Some of the best, sharpest editing I've seen in a lot of miniseries. So check this one out. It's really good. Another anime, Wolf's Rain. Wolf's Rain, one of the most beautiful, emotional, complex animes I have ever watched. Check this out. It's incredible. X-Men, the animated series. Amazing. I know they're doing a whole remake of it. Hopefully they don't change too much because the original X-Men, amazing. For Y, Yellowstone. Yellowstone's probably one of my favorite shows on modern television. The Dutton family is just such an interesting, dysfunctional family that I love watching. Kevin Costner is incredible. Rip is one of my favorite characters on the show, and his relationship is really fucked up relationship with Beth. Love it. Love this show. Check it out. Taylor Sheridan, he's a genius. For Zed, or Z, how the hell you want to pronounce it. Very difficult, because I couldn't think of a damn show that I liked or I've watched that begins with Z. Zoe 101. It's the only one I've watched. It's not a bad show, but I hate that I'm ending with that. Let's go with numbers. Yeah, let's put numbers in it. Can't end with Zoe 101. Third Rock from the Sun. Amazing comedy show from the 90s that I always loved. Just show about these aliens that come to Earth, learning about us as human species. One of them is like a little child. One of them is a guy alien in a woman's body. It's such a goofy, out there show that I love. So there you go. Better way to end it off. So yeah, that was my favorite television shows from A to Z. So let me know in the comment section below. Please tell me what are all your favorite shows, beginning with every letter of the alphabet. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.